Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bonfire Career Professionals call. It's great to be connected, and what a beautiful month we have going on here of October. We've got some fall weather in Houston. It's lightened up a bit. Of course, the hurricane season is like 2020, very phenomenal. We've got multiple storms happening and one in the Gulf right now. But right now we'll have some really great weather. I'm gonna love it. I see that it's actually raining. That's cool. So today what we do is we broaden our understanding of our leadership skills as a career professional. We dive into creating that ultra hireable feel for ourselves, and we also answer your questions. I'll be highlighting a particular topic today, and before we get started with that, a couple announcements. For those that are interested or know people that would be interested, we do have the Career Essentials course that has begun. We are loving our cohort that is together taking this wonderful live group coaching to increase their hireability. We focus on resume, use of LinkedIn, other professional skills, how to interview best. There's so many things included in the Career Professionals call, the group course, and I am loving them. I'm loving the entire group and everything. Last night we had our open call and people came to the open coaching call with great questions and getting feedback on their interviewing and how to become a better professional. So just want to let you know that's going on. In the next 6 weeks, that will be a course that anyone can purchase and they can utilize for themselves and take themselves through it. There will also be a live group coaching segment included in the Career Essentials course that will always be made available, so you do get that one-on-one feel in the course that you self-direct. So just let you know that's going really well. And thank you, Larry, for pulling it together and participating. It's just a blast to do that. In fact, any feedback on how the course is going for yourself?
Oh, for myself?
Yeah.
Two things. One, the input for me personally, the input on just the little things that I never considered, okay? Mm-hmm. Little things in LinkedIn to help promote and get you seen using specific words and specific language because of how people who are looking for jobs are actually doing it, okay?
There you go.
I could, and especially then setting up the resume, how to set up the resume for electronic transfer. I like that. And then
there's so much there, isn't there?
and what I think is fascinating is the hacks. I think the things just to get noticed.
Give all the hacks away.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything, but I just want to say, but there's little things to help.
That's awesome. Thank you for participating. It's been a great run. I'm so glad we're able to take this wealth of knowledge that we teach our private clients one-on-one into something that we've captured, and now it's going to be offered to the general public that simply wants to come in and get this information for themselves. Sometimes we don't have the time nor possibly the finances to invest in private coaching, yet they'll get everything that we would work with our private coaching clients with that they can utilize. I can't wait. It's just so fun. Thank you so much. And Larry's putting it together for us. He's a brain at that. I wanted to welcome Pam. Pam is our Director of Possibilities. Hi, Pam. You're looking very colorful today.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. I've got a little tired of wearing black, so
there you go. Put color.
I made an effort today.
I had the option to wear a black shirt. I'm like, no, we're going blue.
Good.
We're going blue. Awesome. And so I see we have some guests here. And so I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the guests we have on our course today, on our connection. Thank you.
I want to say hi to Catalina. I'm so glad you could make it. I hope you get some great information. And hello to Jorge. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again, Jorge.
Jill, I don't think I'm familiar with, so we're glad to have you. And SB, I'm not quite sure. Maybe you could tell us.
This is Sandeep. I will rename myself.
Oh, Sandeep. Hi, it's nice to
Hey, how
have
are
you.
you?
I'm glad that you could make it.
Thanks so much.
We have several guests today.
And
So-
hi, Miss Leisha. Leisha is totally in our executive coaching and career development. She's like a rock star. We love all the progress that Leisha's making. Her audio is connecting. And so one of the things I wanted to focus on communications and correspondence through our career process, and even as career executives, how to keep our personal brand and our personal way of being elevated in the correspondence that we have with others, and also find what we call the above the line way of being. So above the line is where we meet our needs of love and connection, growth and contribution from a very energy rich place. I know you can't read that because it's so far away from the screen, but basically that's the gist of it. We want to elevate our way of being to where we are trustworthy, like it's that trust energy is there, that respect energy is there, and people see us as mentors. The truth is, whenever we get to a certain level within our career, that's the transition that naturally unfolds. Because when we're early in our career, I remember those times when I'm early in my career, right? I was wanting all the mentors I could gather so that I could become better. I had that hunger for growth. You could probably raise your hand when you had that too, right? The hunger for growth for us as those young minds. And then we get to the place where we get the honor to transition into that part of our own journey where we can then be the mentor and the guide for others. That does hold with it a certain responsibility of communications, correspondence, and how we hold ourselves. So we're going to focus on that today. Hello, Coach Hannah. How are you doing, ma'am? Great to see you here.
I'm doing excellent. I'm working on my new virtual background, so I will be right with you with a nice background, okay?
No problem. My virtual background is a real background. We are in my office. I am so grateful. Things are piecing together. I've not done this approach before in decorating my office. I've usually like, okay, take all of it, bam, we're done. This approach has been, I'm going to find the pieces I like, and I'm puzzle piecing things together from their, just the energy of it all. And so I've got one piece, I've got another piece, I've got this, I've got my chair. That's good. New chair is working. Still waiting for the desk to come in, and then I'll get a new table, and then I'll get the art on the wall. It's just been an evolutionary process. It's great. So one correspondence that is a lost art, and it needs to be in every executive's pocket way of being, are handwritten notes. And so today happens to be two of our clients' birthdays, and I just got off the phone with one of them, and it's Bimal. So happy birthday, Bimal, and happy birthday, Jeff Newkirk. And so we want to have handwritten notes that go out to people. Now here at Bonfire, we have one that's made. We have things, custom made for our group. And there's different types of cards that will go out based on their need. You as an executive, as a career professional, and I don't care if you're starting out and you just graduated, you are a career professional. Claim it. Get personal notes made with your initials on them. Note cards that will fold, very simple, and they come with your envelopes. And keep a register of important dates for your clients, for your employees, your staff, your customers, your vendors. Keep those important dates. Important dates would, nice, way to go, Hannah. Your color matching with your orange and everything, and you got the bonfire colors going on, Chica. Looks great.
Matchy is my thing. It's just the way that I do it.
I love it. I'm so not that person. I'm so glad you are. And so we want to make certain that we keep mindfulness about the important dates of those others in our lives and write notes to them, get them in the mail. And it doesn't matter if it's a little late, it's still mindful. This differentiates you from other career professionals. I remember whenever I worked for my first corporation, my summer jobs in high school, yes, it was a big corporation I was working for. However, I don't consider that my first corporate job. My first corporate job was with Dynegy. They're now Dynegy. Back then, they were Natural Gas Clearinghouse. They were a privately held firm. And I remember receiving a handwritten birthday note and card from the president of our company. I still have that card. I still have it. It meant so much to me that he considered my birthday as something of significance, right? And it was his handwriting. It wasn't his secretary's handwriting. It was his handwriting. And I knew this because later we actually worked on many projects together. He became a dear friend. And it was his handwriting that was on that card. Why is this important? There's a level of expertise that you're bringing, your genius into the marketplace. Your way of being matters to so many people. And if you're a career professional and you're not yet a leader, if you are a new graduate, you are learning the habits that you need to develop as a career professional that you keep. If you are a career professional and you're leading a team, they look to you. They look to you. They want your leadership. They may not articulate that they want your leadership. They have a hunger for trusting you, seeing where you're leading them, understanding your vision and your value, even your core values. And simple correspondence like this, or even a handwritten appreciation note. I noticed how you went above and beyond. I just worked with the CEO this morning, and that's what he's doing for his team. They've just come through a really hard month. In September, they didn't look like they were going to meet their numbers. They exceeded their numbers, and it took the push of the entire team to make that happen. They couldn't have been more pleased and overwhelmed. Yes, they're going to get their team bonus. It'll be compensatory inside of their paycheck. However, he's writing handwritten notes and getting small gifts that are personalized for each one of them to say thank you, to say I notice, I appreciate you. Thank you, Marion. Tell us about that. Those are handwritten notes people have given you?
I have a collection of those. For my birthday is in December. But the other thing is, for those of you that are not organized, because you know I organize people for a living,
Yes,
this is my card. They're blanks, they're sympathies, thank you notes, miscellaneous, birthdays for men, birthdays for women. I go to the dollar store, I buy lots of cards, I put them in my dollar store box. And Vistaprint and send out cards, can do your logos. The next thing is, where are your stamps? People cannot find their stamps. So you put the stamps and your return address, if it's not on there, right in your box.
there you
And
go.
you can use a shoe box. Thank you for letting me share.
You're welcome. Thanks for keeping us organized, Marion. So yes, I do. I'm the one that gets the stamps that have some meaning to it, not just the simple stamps. The
A lot of people don't even know where their stamps are.
Hey, Costco, you get great prices at Costco for forever stamps. That's where I buy them. But that's the correspondence. So we want to think through, the handwritten correspondence is meaningful. The appreciation letters are meaningful. And then we also want to think through the word choices and how we approach our communications with our team, with our cohorts, and through the entire, for some of you, you are in the application to hire process right now. So we're going to touch on that as well. I invite you, if you have any specific questions about proper correspondence, things of that nature, go ahead and use the chat. I want you to use the chat so that we can have that correspondence as well. Some of us are shy and we stay quiet, and you're great listeners. However, I want to also see what other thoughts are going through. And if anything pops through, feel free to use the chat. So the correspondence that we have in written form, emails, we want to make sure that whenever we're corresponding with anyone, I've learned from Lincoln, if you haven't ever read Lincoln's biography, there's plenty of stories where he would have initial correspondence and then pause before sending or mailing, in that case, Pony Express, right? He would pause and sit with the energy of the correspondence and make sure the overall intent would come from a higher voice that wasn't reactive, that wasn't positioned in an agenda, that wasn't demanding or belittling. And I appreciated reading about Lincoln's ability to pause and to seek mindfulness in correspondence, because oftentimes the biggest regrets or remorse that we have is in communicating too rapidly with an air of regret or reactivity embedded in the message, when if we would have simply taken a breath, taken a pause, thought through what we truly wanted to communicate, and find an empathetic edge to do so, we would have saved those times and moments and possibly years of remorse or regret. That is on us. That is 100% our responsibility to own the energy of communication that we have with anyone. So, as a career professional, today I want you to start thinking through, what communications do I have on a regular basis? And can I do it from a more mindful place? Can I do it with more empathy, gratitude, appreciation? Curiosity is an amazing perspective to learn more about the other person before we jump to assumptions or conclusions and try to press our viewpoints. The greatest leaders that I've ever worked for and with, I can let you know that they were more curious about my opinion and my viewpoint than they were to tell me what I need to think. I really appreciate that. It helped me grow, and it took no more time for them. In fact, I would argue that over time, whenever we lead our teams and lead ourselves from a curiosity standpoint, we grow much faster, and the depth of that growth, the richness of that growth lasts a lifetime. If we're told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, then we simply become robots. We simply become, another version of the person that's telling us what to do, and they will never feel free, and we will never feel as though we're living up to our potential. We get to lead from a very empathetic, understanding, curious way. Other communications that we have, when we're in meetings, coming prepared to the meetings. We don't simply come prepared to the meetings so that our life is easier, which it is. We come to the meetings prepared with thoughts, with points of consideration, questions, because we're respecting the time that everybody is sharing to that meeting. Can you imagine? Come into meetings ill-prepared, like you're chasing your tail. More stuff is coming at you, more information is coming at you, and you were already overloaded to begin with. What if everybody to that meeting came ill-prepared, not organized, thoughts hadn't been thought through, and the overall outcome of the meeting becomes more reactive and arduous and draining? Would we love that? No, we would not love that over time. So as career professionals, we come prepared. We come with questions already on our heart, in our mind. And if you are in the application to hire process and you're interviewing, seeking jobs, seeking, maybe it's that next step for yourself, come prepared to even the phone interviews, well prepared. There's a gentleman who interviewed with me earlier this year. I was interviewing for the executive administrative position within our firm. I liked him. He was very well poised. He spoke well. He had a gift of utilizing language, which in some young professionals is lacking, honestly. I was impressed by him. I think Pam was impressed by him as well. The first question after I greeted him, and I had sent him the job description, I asked him if he had any questions about the job description. And he said, no, ma'am, I don't. I do not. And I said, did you read the job description? Thank goodness he was honest. And you can tell when people are honest. He said, no, I actually didn't read the job description. So that was the first strike. You need to come prepared. Second question I had for him. So, what does my company do? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I want you to tell me in your language, your words, what my company does. He was not able to answer that question. And I said, what products do we sell? He was not able to answer that question. He did not get the job. In fact, it was right then I said, I really like you as a person. I wish you well. You are not the right candidate for our position. and I asked him, I said, can I offer you some advice? I said, I am a coach. You don't have to listen to me. However, I'd like to offer you some advice. And he said, yes. I said, come well prepared to any meeting you have. And when you're interviewing, you need to know the company name. You need to know their website. You need to read their web pages. You need to know what products they sell in the world. Why do they do it? Who are their customers? And everything else you can find out about them, because every person that is under the umbrella of a company is moving that vision forward. I don't care if you're moving mail in the mailroom, every person hired in a company is part of the brand. And I bid them adieu. So as an executive, as a career professional, come prepared to every single meeting you have. And if you're not prepared and you are in that rush of the hamster wheel, which we get into sometimes, I know this one myself, we can say in a gracious apology, I know that we're having this meeting today. I understand the meeting is for this intent. The truth is I have not been able to prepare as much as I could have or would have. Please accept my apologies. Let's get on with the meeting and see how far we can go. It's called humility and humbleness. Those go a long way. It's called honesty, right? Other communications are phone messages. In fact, I'm going to pause here and I want to see if you have any questions. I did say use the chat. I haven't seen anything pop in. We're talking about written communications, some verbal communications, being prepared for meetings and correspondence. Any questions here? Does anybody have a question, have feedback? Do you have any experiences where this could also be exemplified to help the group learn from other perspectives? Just simply raise your hand and share. Everything is welcome. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Melissa. See people. No one? I know you have examples. I know you have experience here too. That's okay. It's not a have to.
I'll share. We definitely, oh, I see George there.
Hi, George.
You're not
Yeah.
unmuted, but I see you moving your lips.
Jorge, yes.
Jorge, excuse me.
There we go.
There you go. Hi, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Real quick, I gotta get into a meeting in about 30 minutes. But number one, thank you very much for inviting me. I really appreciate that. Very good gesture. Second, yes, I have experience. You know, I work all over the world, and one of the places that I worked was in Abu Dhabi. I was the chief engineer officer for one private company there, and I was hiring engineers, and this guy came up and he said, look, I hear, I took him in because he took me by surprise in the elevator. And he kind of followed me, and he went right there. And I said, "Do you look? Are you looking for someone in particular?" He said, "I'm looking for you." And I said, "Okay."
Okay.
I hear that you're looking for people, and I would like to introduce myself. I'm an engineer, and right off the bat. This guy was a guy from India with a job, of course, otherwise they wouldn't even enter the country. We start talking, and I said, yeah, sure. I invite him to my office, and we start talking, and, he said, look, I know this company. I follow you in LinkedIn. I like the things that you comment and you do. And I really would like to work in this company. And I said, well, look, we got an opening. I called the HR guy and we hired him on the spot. Yeah. And it was an applications engineer with a lot of interface with clients. It was perfect. It worked wonderful.
Wow.
Because that is what you need. You need an outgoing person to demonstrate how outgoing it is, or outbidding it is.
Awesome.
He was always prompt, and it was, yeah.
And so you've shared, thank you, Jorge, you've shared some
He sent me
things.
the
One, he was,
resume.
say it again.
Sorry?
Say it again.
He sent me the resume, but I never read it. You don't need, I didn't need to read it.
Yes. So he showed assertiveness with respect.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. And this is the kind of people that you look for in an organization.
And that they have that energy. So there's like a nuance, right? And we call it here at Bonfire, we call it energy richness. And we're looking for energy richness because those people are receptive. They are willing to grow.
Totally.
And they're
They like
very
to
willing
listen.
to contribute.
They like to learn.
Right. And that's a beautiful quality of anyone, right? We cannot think that we've ever arrived. Because whenever we think we've arrived, we've closed the door, right? I remember whenever I was in grade school, I think it was 4th grade. I remember coming into the 4th grade classroom, and that summer, the months prior to entering into 4th grade, I had spent many, many days at the local library because the local library was basically my babysitter. My mother would drop me off at the local library. I would read and digest books, and I found that there was this one section of the library that had all the textbooks from any grade that I wanted to learn, the actual textbooks from the school, right? And I saw which ones were going to be the next level of math, the next level of history, the next level of English that I was about to endeavor into for 4th grade. And so with my hunger, I went ahead and digested those books over 3 months. So this is the young Tina Marie enters into 4th grade. I had a little bit of a cockiness in me. I was thinking, well, I already know what we're going to be learning. I'm going to be bored. I could hear that voice already positioning itself. And I remember sitting in the seat, and I thought, I must clean the slate. I must come with a clean slate of thought so that I am receptive. And I didn't know that word receptive at the age, but I knew that I needed to be a willing container to have things come in so that I could learn. And I remember checking myself. That voice was there. And I remember checking myself going, no, I can learn something every single day. It didn't matter how many books I'd read and how many things I'd prepared for. I knew that I was receptive to learning something every single day. Thank you. And so that's what we are. It doesn't matter if I get the immense honor. We here at Bonfire get the immense honor to work with so many delightful career professionals. It's just so life-giving for us. And there's this one very senior executive inside of a large Fortune 100 firm. And yesterday, he and I had our coaching session. And we end our coaching session with, so what are some takeaways from our time here today that makes your time here absolutely worth it? And that's our standard of what we end our coaching session with. And he said everything. He said, I absolutely love being here and in the energy, and you help me see myself from a new perspective. I wouldn't even think to look at life through this lens. It doesn't come naturally to me. And so I appreciated that, because even the most senior, well-positioned, well thought of, their experience is so deep. I'd never have the amazing amount of experience. He's fought off the world courts with $600 billion at stake, right? So we all have something to bring each other. No matter how far we've gone, there is no arrival, right? Simply know that. Catalina shares here, hello, I just recently had a Zoom interview for which I prepared very well, but unfortunately was super nervous. Super nervous. It ruined the whole interview. I'm so sorry. I sent a thank you email, mentioning how nervous I was and asked for a second chance, but I never got an answer. I actually followed up with a written note and still nothing. I feel awful because I know I was well prepared and I was a great candidate. You are a great candidate for the job, but I lost the opportunity because I got nervous. We do not know that. Who's Catalina? Catalina. That's an assumption, my dear. And the truth is you do not know why they have not communicated with you. So please do not take this as a personal hit. And I see Hannah nodding as well. Hannah, do you have some beautiful coaching advice for the dear Catalina?
I do. And actually it's advice for all of us,
Yeah.
specifically to what you said. Oftentimes we take things personally that really have nothing to do with us. And when you're looking for a job, it is one of those situations that how do I say this? Because we're the unknown, attempting to walk into a known situation, right? The company is prepared and they're looking for someone. And so we walk in unknowing. But there are so many things, right? If you could change your position from being the outside person, not knowing anything that's happening, to being inside of that position and having the multitude of people that need to have buy-in to the one hire, to the politics that are going on, to any internal influences or even personal issues that the interviewer might be having or interviewers might be having. There's just so much that happens when you take yourself out of, this side of the fence and kind of that fixed perspective that it's all about you, and think about, there's so many other things happening that you have no control over. And so this is an opportunity to release some stress from yourself, because one, you prepared, which means that you did the best job you could at that moment in time. And so at the very, very least, you have succeeded for yourself in taking that next step and knowing you can be that prepared. And now you'll have an opportunity to take the next step, which is feeling more confident in showing how prepared you are, right? And then you'll take a next step in being able to be even more confident, or whatever that next step is for you. And that is your win. The flip side of that is the company and what they were looking for and what they needed, and knowing that your position is coming to you. And whoever is meant for their position is also going to find them, right? So it's having that faith and knowing, like, if I did the best job I could, then whatever is happening that God is taking care of or the universe is taking care of is there. And I'm still going to remain true to myself and confident in what I've done. So that would be my 2 cents.
Great words, Hannah. I love it. Truth. And thank you for sharing that, Catalina. That takes courage, and we really appreciate your input here. The great thing I want to point out, because we are talking about correspondence here, is that you took that initiative to follow up. Good job. And you also followed up in a written note. That is so rare, and just pat yourself on the back that you took that initiative. That is beautiful. And know that, keep those good habits up. Keep those good habits up. Nervousness comes whenever we give our power over to others to make a decision for our lives. So whenever we are looking at the interview process, what we here at Bonfire, whenever we're coaching our career professionals, we want you to relax into the interview process and get curious about it. I mentioned curiosity. Participate in the interview process. We get nervous whenever we're thinking the interview's happening to us. Whenever we are participating in the process, it relaxes us. Through our coaching program, we help you understand what questions that you need to come prepared to ask the employer. We also help you understand very clearly what you're looking for. You determine this. We don't determine, we lead you with our guidance system and our worksheets and our process that we have here in our method. We help you get very clear on what you're seeking, very clear on what you're seeking, so that you can ask the proper questions to discern whether or not this employer, this position, these roles, responsibility, compensation, all of that adds up to what you're seeking. You do not want to settle for less than that, or it will be unfulfilling. You will not feel like you're growing, and somewhere there will be a mismatch. You'll know it. So through coaching, we're helping you find that clarity. And also through coaching, we're helping you learn how to say no. There's a number of offers that come to the table for our clients, and we help them see this isn't what you're looking for. Case in point, one of our clients, we knew through the coaching that we had already done and the prep work that he'd already done, that this particular offer that did come to him, he had 3 interviews pass through, the offer comes. It was questionable at the very beginning whether or not this firm was going to be a match for what he was seeking, yet he continued. It's fine. He was getting the experience. Then the offer came in. There's a part of us, which we call our lower mind, that can make a decision. When that lower mind's making our decision, it's never going to be good. The lower mind is looking for certainty. I need to be saved. I need to have some stability in my life. Please help me out. And it's wanting to be rescued from its circumstances. whenever we put ourselves in the situation where we're a less than entity and we're being rescued and being fixed and saved, then we give all of our power over to our employer. We hand them the reins to our happiness. Oh, does that set things up for failure? So this client realized 3 weeks in that he'd done that. Did he get coached along the way to not take this offer? Yes. But we are not there with you, and we do not make the decisions for you. So it was a really good learning experience. And now we're back at the, let's go find the job that you'd love. So here we go. Reading some of your comments. You're welcome, Catalina. And yes, Jorge had to leave for another meeting. Thank you so much for joining us, Jorge. Marion, also call and talk to someone 20 minutes ahead to get the nerves off you. Oh, another person. Yeah.
Right. So in other words, yeah, they don't need to fix you. Larry doesn't have to say to me, oh, Marion, I'm sorry you're so nervous. That's not why you're calling. You're calling to say, Larry, I'm going to talk in the way that I would sit in the interview because I'm so nervous. And you just pretend like you're Joe Schmo. And you just, hi, I'm Catalina. I'm the executive assistant, or I want to be your boss over your, whatever it is. And the other thing is, if you let go of the fact that this is your job and just relax like you're sitting across from a friend, because it may not be the right job for you, but you're so nervous or you're such in need of money, you can't see past the interview. You know, there's 2,000 people that they've already vetted through. So just try to remember that.
Thank you so much. Great advice, Marion. We do want to be there for the experience and participate. Be mindful, breathe more, and not have so much weight on it. You know, that weight of,
if it's your job, you're going to get it.
Yeah, I want them to accept me. I want them to love me. No, that's a bit white knuckly, right? So good luck with the next ones. And Catalina, I hope we get to work with you more, because I know that we have a beautiful coach here, an endearing coach waiting to work with you. It would be wonderful. Another thing I wanted to point out is that coaching is not recruiting. And so the recruiters work for employers. They are paid by the employers to find the right fit, and it's not personal. However, coaching helps develop you and present your best self forward. You make the right decision. You feel absolutely amazing whenever that offer comes through, because it's not just settling. It's not just hoping. It is just so much celebration and wonder in it. In fact, I was going to ask Hannah, I'm picking on you today, it seems. Can you tell the story of Gwen?
I'd be happy to. Gwen actually, I think, came to us through one of these calls. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, Career Professionals calls. Gwen is, so it's funny because the way I describe Gwen and the way Gwen would describe her is probably very different. Gwen is a dear soul. She's a CPA. She grew up in accounting, so her grandma was an accountant, her father was an accountant, so she has a very accounting and numbers mindset, right? And she was working for a small firm that didn't have benefits. And she was also being asked to do some tasks that weren't CPA related, more marketing related. That was a stretch for her, but not a stretch that she necessarily wanted. So she was at a place where she said, I'd really like to have a job that gives me more, that gives me benefits, and that I don't have to do these extra kind of things. She had also been taking some classes to be a certified forensic accountant. So she's continued kind of her education. And so when she came to us, she was in a place of, I'm ready, but I don't know what. So we took her through our standard, career coaching list, which is, we make sure that you understand what you want, not only what you want, what you would love. So we identified that. We identified, some stretch places for her and how to, look for a job, where she was looking for jobs, what those qualifications were. And we also helped her prepare for the interview because she is a very shy person, right? Typical to a lot of CPAs and accountants, they tend to be more introverted or insular. And so we spent a lot of time and worked through her belief structure that she was answering from. So instead of just, what would, give me some questions that you'd like to ask the company, really asking based on her beliefs and what she needs out of that company that she's going to work for. So beautiful opportunity came her way. She nailed the interview. She was offered the position within, I think, a week. They said they would give her back 2 weeks. They gave her $15,000 more than she was expecting or looking for, plus this massive bonus package. And the benefits go on and on. She's now studying for another certification because every time she gets one, she gets an extra bump. So, and not only is it, you know, the financial and the position, but it's the position that she's holding where she has room for growth. So her room for growth here is to move into a supervisor position, which she does desire in her heart. And so it's just beautiful to watch somebody who comes through and says, I have no idea what I'm doing. And for everybody that's watching, her LinkedIn is probably the least developed LinkedIn we've come across in our career professionals calls. And so we're still working on her LinkedIn. Very important tool. However, what we provide through our career coaching has a number of steps to help you be just confident and secure as you step into both the interview process and the search process. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hannah. It's been fun to watch. We've had so many wins, and sometimes people are thinking, well, through the COVID or the pandemic or whatever we're experiencing now, that employers aren't hiring. That is so far from true. We have many clients that are working with our coaches, and they get opportunities all the time. And it's just so wonderful to journey with them. And we prepared one gentleman, his name's Micah, for his interview. He nailed it. He was nervous, but he did such a great job. And yes, the same story. I mean, people are getting offered more than they'd have ever thought that they would get. There's so many wonderful bonuses, because whenever they find a jewel, and you are the jewels that they're looking for, when they find that, they want to reward you. They don't want to lose you. Employers don't have all the power you do, honestly. They want to find that jewel that's going to stay with them and grow with them. And we help our people position. So today we're talking about the correspondence. The way we hold ourselves as career professionals matters. The way we present ourselves in our word choice, and the way we look in our etiquette and our dress and our stance. So you want to sit with and stand with a strong spine, because that gives you the inner confidence. That nervousness that Catalina speaks through is typically because we've given our power over to the expectation that we must be seen as something. And whenever we step outside of ourselves and allow someone else to pick us or judge us, then we've lost our power. So through coaching, we want us to help. And those that are on our career professionals call, many of you are coaching with us. And we also have our coaches. We have a great list of coaches here. We've got Melissa, we've got Michelle, we've got, of course, Hannah and Larry. And so we want to empower you to be the best presence, the best mindful, authentic, confident, secure in yourself person. And that's hireable. People want that. You will get promoted fast when you can represent yourself in this way. And it doesn't take much effort. This isn't, I mean, if your lower mind saying, oh, I have to go to school for this, or I have to get a certification for this, or I have to have many years of this. No, it can happen within weeks or months to shift that energy of who you are and how you communicate and what your presence is, because it's innate inside of you. Sometimes we just have to release it. We have to peel back the layers of abiding by certain rules or what we're supposed to do. And sometimes those are good, and most of the time those are false images of who you truly are. So I wanted to ask, does anyone have any questions about communications inside the workplace, communications in the interview to hire process, follow-ups, things of that nature? Do you have any questions for us? This is your time. And again, happy birthday to anybody I missed in October. We're catching up on our birthday cards. Any questions, any comments from anyone? Okay. Then some of you are here as guests. I invite you to follow up with who invited you here. It's more than likely Pam. Know that we have coaching packages that meet your budget, 100%. Do not worry about that. Do not let money be the choice of how you're going to make progress in your career. And Marion, I see you raising your hand. 1 second. Also, oh, you're saying goodbye? Okay. Mwah. Love you. Whenever, and I could say this pretty much 100% across the board. I mean, I rarely can say 100% across the board. I can and coaches, catch me on this and see if it's out of line. It seems as though everyone that coaches with us makes up their investment for coaching at least 2 to 3-fold, if not 10-fold, whenever we help them with their compensation negotiations. Would you agree? They get so much more money than what they ever invested in coaching. I'm thinking of one of our clients, Rowan. He burst through the ceiling of what he thought was possible in his compensation package. And oftentimes I hear myself saying this, I should charge more because we get so many wonderful benefits for our clients and we get paid one price, that's it. And we come to the table for you. So if there's any part of the lower mind that's questioning whether or not coaching could work for you, one, we can open you up to our other clients and you can speak with them. And second, just simply know that it's absolutely worth the investment, time, money, and everything else. It makes you a better human and it makes you a better career professional that will be elevated, promoted, and required in the organization long-term more than you are now, even more than you are now, right? And I know Leisha's here, and Leisha is an amazing client who is positioning herself very wisely for that next step. And we know that the more we are energy rich, when we stay above the line, and that's one of our methods here, we stay above the line in our thinking and our knowing and our faith and our confidence, then that opportunity is coming our way. I'm reminded of the Hafiz poem. He says, when we take one step toward God, God takes more steps toward us than there are grains of sand in the universe. So when we take one step toward that beautiful career, holding the faith and knowing that what we truly want, what we would truly love is out there, it is finding its way to you. One of my other clients, it's birthday today, he was losing sight of the journey. And I said, go back to your 3-part list, go back to your top 10 companies, go back to your letter of what would you love, read it tonight before you go to bed, claim it, devour it, put it inside your system, because we cannot lose sight of what you truly love. If we do, we settle, we stay where we are, we endure the pain longer, we make what we have here okay, and we do not push our own envelope. None of us are here on this planet to accept the mundane, mediocre life. There's a seed inside of us that wants wonder, growth, fascination, aliveness, connectivity, and all of that's coming because we find the courage to take the next step. Will it be scary? Heck, yes, it'll be scary. It was never designed to not be scary. Growth is, the true growth that we make is going to be uncomfortable. Welcome the discomfort, welcome that I don't know what the next thing's going to be, because that is growth seeding its energy through you, and it's welcoming you with open arms. You will not fall. Trust the process. Any other last comments, inputs from our coaches, from our clients, from the people that are our guests? Any other comments before we conclude today's Bonfire Career Professionals call? Then what are some takeaways that you're leaving with today that made your time here absolutely worth it? Who would love to share a takeaway that you said, I wrote this down, I'm bringing this into my mind and heart, and I'm taking this with me? What would you share? Simply raise your hand, unmute, or if I cannot see you, unmute. Sandeep, I see that you unmuted. Do you have something you're
Yes, I was about to raise hand. Can you hear me okay?
I can perfectly hear you. Yes, we can.
Yep. So I think the one takeaway is hearing after a while was the stand with the backbone, go in with the backbone, present yourself confidently. I think that was a good takeaway for me.
Beautiful.
And a very informative session. So thanks, Pamela, for following up, and thank you for driving this.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure. Thank you for being here and lending your energy. What are some more takeaways from today that made your time absolutely worth it to be here? When we claim it, we own it. So go ahead and claim it.
I just want to remind people, we've said it before, and you touched on it a little bit earlier about messages. And I just want to remind everyone to put a personal greeting on your phone's voicemail so that you do not have the automated when someone calls and you miss a call, you want that personal greeting that shows who they've called and shows your professionalism.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is so true. That is part of correspondence. It's how they get to know you. It's definitely through your voice, and your voicemail is part of that identity. Thank you, Pam. It's so true. And Leisha says, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. I loved your pep talk. I'm taking it with me. Hold on for what you dream of. That's true. And same with Jill. Jill Wenas, thank you so much. Take away what's right for us. Yes. Claim what you want and stay true to that. No settling. Not giving my power to the interviewer. That's true. You own your power, chica. Go in knowing who you are, what you bring, what you're ready to give into the position. Speak from your heart, your authenticity. Get curious about who they are and what their visions are. Ask them more questions than they ask you. I swear that'll turn the tables, because you're participating in the interview, not just letting it happen to you. Yes. Awesome. Gracias. Thank you for your time. I am off for a week, and I look forward to being with everyone whenever I return. We've got an amazing group of coaches here ready to hold you and guide you and support you and high five you. Thank you for lending your energy today to the bonfire. We are the bonfire where we help you light your life. Love you all. Have a beautiful day, and I can't wait to be with you again soon. Bye-bye.